Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
When did Terence Crawford, in that same IG Live in November 1st or 2nd, in IG Live of 2022, give us the month if you can. What month did Terence Crawford say that Al Heyman sent him a proposal? If you don't know, it's okay. I'm going to tell you.
The last thing he said,
the first time that they sent him a proposal, Crawford said it out of his own mouth. What month?
I think that was, let me go back. It might have been January, February, March, April. Like somewhere around April, May, or June. Somewhere between those 3 months, if I'm correct. I said somewhere between April, May, or June.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna let him tell us. Hold on 1 second.
Listen, y'all. I'm about to give it to y'all raw and uncut. You know, I started talking to Team Spence, I would say, and Al Heyman and them about May, right after his fight,
You heard that, AC?
Yeah, May. I said April, May, or June. I said I wasn't sure, but I believe it was sometime between April, May, or June. So it was May.
All right, now I got a question for you. He started talking to Team Spence, his words, not mine, in May. That's when Al Heyman sent him a proposal. What month did Blue Blood call Bozy, since Crawford was talking to Al Heyman in May?
I think Blue.
My mic on?
No, I'm thinking. Give me a chance to think, brother. I think it might have been May, June, July. I think it was somewhere between July and August that he said BLK Prime came to him with an offer, and he was letting them know that he was dealing with that. He was dealing with Showtime and trying to get this Errol Spence fight going.
So Crawford said that in July or August, BLK Prime approached him.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure. I got to go back and really look at it. But just off the top of my head, I think so. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not going to try to die on that sword as my whole argument is destroyed.
Hold on. Listen to the words of Crawford now. He's the most credible guy in this equation. Hold on. Let's hear the brother.
The interest of Spence, I started talking to Team Spence, I would say, and Al Heyman and them about May, right after his fight, just going back and forth. They send me a proposal with the interest of Spence and Crawford fight. We didn't get a contract until August.
You heard that, AC?
Yeah, I just said that. I said August. Yes.
So I'm gonna ask you again, because you heard him say he got the proposal in May, Al Heyman. Then he got the actual contract in August from Al Heyman. What month did Blue Blood call Bozy again?
What month? I don't.
Yeah, I asked you that the first time a few minutes ago after I played you Crawford saying May. Now I'm playing you again where Crawford is saying he received the contract in August. So we got May, June, July, then we got August. So I'm trying to figure out is what month did Blue Blood contact Crawford to fight Boots? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, what you're trying to figure out is something that no one knows because we weren't there. We can only go by what Bud Crawford said when he made the statement that BLK Prime approached him with a fight, with a deal for with a one-shot deal for a fight, and he said that happened in the middle of the negotiations, and he emphatically let them know, I'm in negotiations with trying to make this Errol Spence fight. If something should happen, then I'll contact you guys.
So why didn't Crawford let PBC know that he was in negotiation with BLK Prime then?
He let them know.
He didn't, bro.
Yes, he did.
AC.
Bro, yes, he did. He said it out of his own mouth.
Listen, bro. Listen, man. When Tank Davis was fighting Hector Garcia, the same card Boots was on, they interviewed Spence because Spence had gotten into a minor car accident on the same day, ironically, that Crawford fought David Ebenezer. And Spence himself came out, and he said, this is Spence words, not mine, I can roll the tape on that. We didn't know that he, meaning Crawford, was even negotiating with BLK Prime. We had no idea. None of us, nobody, AC, including you, including me, including everybody in the boxing world, before Terence Crawford came out in November and before Blue Blood Sports TV came out in October, we had no knowledge that Crawford was fighting David Ebenezer. You agree with that, don't you?
To a certain degree, yes, but there's context that's missing. Because the biggest context that's missing here is how does Errol Spence say some shit like that when Bud already said Errol wasn't part of the negotiations. He was only talking with Al Heyman in those beginnings. So where the fuck was Errol? Was that when he was on vacation with his family? When was Errol part of that? The only thing we know that Errol was talking about when he got back was that leaked audio of Errol Spence when he's talking to Espinoza, talking about, well, Bud said this and he wanted to see that and all of this other stuff.
That was after the fact, though. I'm not talking about that. We heard that leaked audio after the fact. I'm talking about May, June, July, August. No one knew. The boxing public had no knowledge that Terence Crawford was going to fight David Ebenezer.
No one knew because he wasn't at that particular point. He had already let BLK Prime. It's not happening, not right now, because I'm still in negotiation. I'm trying to negotiate this fight with this guy. That's the fact, bro.
No. So, okay, so let me be clear on something with you, AC. He fought David Ebenezer in December, correct?
December 10th, 2022.
When was David Ebenezer scheduled to fight? Somebody else on another card in another country.
That I don't remember because
I'm going to tell you, and I got the screenshot. November 19th.
Okay.
So we got December when he actually fought him. We got November when David Ebenezer was supposed to fight somebody else. And we got August where Terence Crawford himself said they sent him a contract, PBC. So between him getting a contract in his hand and him actually fighting David Ebenezer in December, that's September, October, November, December. So within those 4 months, what took place was two sanctioning bodies. Now this is business I'm talking about now. Two sanctioning bodies had to get together to agree to allow the entire card in the country that David Ebenezer was going to defend the European title on November 19th to be able to be scrapped all together. And then the Nebraska Athletic Commission had to agree to allow David Ebenezer to fight Terence Crawford. It doesn't stop there. The WBO, the sanctioning body, who Terence Crawford was representing because he was the WBO champion, they had to get involved, and then they had to also approve the fight because they get paid before the fighters even compete in the ring. So does the sanctioning bodies, right? So does the athletic commission. So what I'm basically trying to show you, it took months for this fight between those two guys.
2 months, a total of 2 months.
Time out. It took months before Crawford and David Evanesian can even agree to terms because of how the business is set up. And I'm telling you this because I'm on record on a lot of people's panels explaining the reason why the fight was being delayed from Crawford in the first place. I'm one of the first people that talked about the reason why. And it's because they were trying to basically get it approved for David Evanesian to get off of the card to fight Terence Crawford. So what I'm saying to you is, if all of this stuff had to take at least 2 to 3 months, I already know how long it really takes, but we're going to go and say 2 months because that's what you say, right? We're going to use your talking
That's
point.
what the representatives of BLK Prime said. It took 2
I ain't
months.
talking, they ain't no, man, listen, you're going to take BLK Prime words over my words? I will hope you wouldn't do that. But let's just take BLK Prime words. We're going to take their words and say 2 months. So if that's the case, we're going to take their words like you said, right? It took them 2 months to get David Evanesian off the card to fight Terence Crawford. You only proving my point. So I'm going to ask you again, if it took them 2 months to be able to get him off of a card that he was scheduled to fight in November, when did Blue Blood Sports TV call Bozy for Crawford to fight Boots?
Prior to that. So
how?
What do you mean?
You're
How?
still not answering the question, bro.
I'm answering the question. Boots didn't have anything lined up at that time. He didn't. He didn't have
Did
anything.
Crawford have something lined up?
He was in negotiation with Errol, and then that fell apart. So when that
when did that fall apart? Tell me when.
That fell apart. I don't remember when.
Give me a moment. Just give us a moment.
Let me say this. I'm gonna say late August, somewhere early September, because then Errol in October, Errol Spence dropped one tweet. I'm fighting somebody else, so is he. Or he made it. No, that wasn't the tweet. He said, I'm fighting with or without Terence Crawford on November 19th. That was a tweet he dropped. And then November 2nd, Errol Spence dropped a tweet that said, I'm fighting someone else, so is he, but mine is not a tune-up. Keith Thurman came out and said he had gotten a call October, late October, possibly early November, and he was scheduled to go into training camp for the Errol Spence fight in December. But then he said, this dude, he said, after he watched the Terence Crawford fight, he saw on Twitter that Errol Spence had gotten to another car accident. I'm just telling you what the fighters are tweeting and what they said. Whether you just want me to believe you.
You ain't got to believe me, bro. I ain't nobody credible. Hey, AC, I ain't nobody credible on YouTube. You ain't got to believe me. But we can believe, we can believe this though, AC. We can believe this. In November, Crawford said Boots' name never came up. So we know, see, you saying you're assuming. We got to believe what the fighter's saying, like you keep saying. So we going to believe what Crawford is saying. Crawford said Boots' name never came up. He said that in November. So
why would Boots' name come up when you're negotiating for a fight and then you drop the fight that says, I'm fighting on December 10th, I'm fighting David Evanesian. Explain to me, if Boots is not available or doesn't make himself available to fight, why would his name come up?
No, you're missing. Don't try to insinuate. Let's hear.
No, I'm not insinuating. I'm just asking. I'm asking a legitimate question.
Crawford said the reason why he did not fight Boots is because Boot's name never came up. You are saying that Blue Blood brought Boot's name up to Desmond and BLK Prime somewhere in August. That's what you're saying. But Crawford himself is saying the guy's name never came up.